get started. Oh, I didn't spotlight me. So the beginning of this video is going to be everybody. My bad. Find your breath, my loves. Find your breath. Inhale, exhale. Always the right place to start. I'm going to give you a breathing option today, which if you've never tried before and you want to simply stay seated with a deep, easy breath, then take that. But if you'd like to try something that is a breath technique that builds heat in the body, it is called breath of fire. If you get lightheaded easily when you're breathing, or if you breathe shallowly, you might not want to try this. There's your caveat. Or you might want to stop earlier than I cue it. So bring both hands, stack them over the low part of the belly, like deep down. Diaphragm is up here, right, under the rib cage, and we got all those good core muscles. The hands are going to come in together right here. And if you sort of press in at the low belly with your hands, you're going to create a little bit of a bellows effect where you press in with the low belly and the air is going to push up and out. And that's really all we're going to do. And I want you to think about inhaling or breathing in. I want you to focus on the exhale. And breath of fire looks like this. One clearing breath. That's it. Forcible exhale, feeling the air press up and out of the body. It can make you a little lightheaded because you're not breathing in deeply. We're only going to do 25 breaths. If you want to give it a try, if not, you're just going to keep the hands in the low belly and breathe deeply, right? Hands press in. Take one deep breath to clear. And then focus on pressing the air in and a sharp exhale. Here we go. Stop. That was 25. Close your eyes, take a few breaths. I speed it up as I go. I start out with a manageable breath and then I get it a little bit faster as I move along. Release the hands from the belly, drop the shoulders away from the ears. And now notice maybe as you take these few deep breaths that you've got a little more space to breathe. Part of the goal here in Breath of Fire is to push out the air that sort of lives in the lungs that should be exhaled but isn't. So we're clearing out some space for new breath to come in, and it actually does activate your core muscles, which is the beginning part of bringing some warmth to the body. Circle through the wrists a few times. The remainder of our warm-up today is actually a very slow variation on the first sun salutation. Sun salutations are all designed to build heat in the body. And this is there's a few little added on poses and a few opportunities to hold in our Sun A this morning. Release the fingers, circle them around, shake them out a little bit, move the neck. Now maybe the shoulders, loosen them up, bringing a little life into your body today. And you can take this opportunity to set an intention for practice today. Maybe we take some twists, open up the back and the spine just a little bit. And maybe we want to circle the rib cage. Checking in with the trunk, the torso, go the other direction. You are truly the first humans I've had to talk to today. I did say one thing to my daughter before she left for school. She doesn't really like to talk in the morning. So I don't really get to wake my voice up before class. You guys get to get on my morning voice. Bring the head up over the heart up over the hips. My mantra for this flow is move with ease. Just to bring ease into each component of each shape I make, each breath I take, to find the ease. A little less effort for me today in my practice. It's what my body wants. We're going to shift to all fours, tabletop. I'm moving my blankie. Mindfully setting up the body, stacking up the joints, pulling the muscles of the front body up towards the sky, spreading the fingers wide. A couple rounds of cow and cat here. Inhale, belly low, head, heart, and hips are high. And then we'll roll through spine, chin to chest. Couple times through. We'll come back into the center. Excuse me. Again, tuck the toes, lift the knees, slide the hips up and back. Ease into your downward facing dog. Flow into your shape. And we'll pedal it out. Warming up the feet. Shifting the heart side to side. Excuse me, my loves. I'm not sick, I promise. Anytime the weather changes in California, my body responds. And then settle into your downward facing dog for one breath. Notice what's happening with your kneecaps here. Are you keeping a little bend here? Protect your hamstrings. Pressing the arms forward, bringing the heart towards the thighs. We'll rock the hips out a little bit, get a little stretch in the side body, and then start to draw the hands back. As the hips shift left, bring the right hand back, and then vice versa. Really taking a nice slow, long walk, keeping a nice bend in the knees, letting the heels come down to the earth, and walking it into our forward fold. Keep the knees bent. Keep the hands planted if you're feeling tension in the back today. Pull the low belly in for support, and then just let the upper body rest. And you can bring your blocks here into your hands if that will help. Maybe you want to take a rag doll. Maybe you want to play with straightening one leg and the other. What serves you today? And then we'll bring a nice deep bend into the knees. Bring the thumbs up to the hip creases. Tuck the chin into the chest. Press into the palms. So there's so much support for the back as we roll up to the crown of the head, up to the sky. Palms are going to face forward. Pause, breathe. And we'll walk it up to the top of the mat. Really focusing on connection into the earth here. Feet are connected down. We draw our energy up. I'm going to shift my camera because I'm headless here. So breathe in, smooth. Here I am. Inhale, take a deep breath up. And we're going to walk the arms up high, reaching up for the sky. Here's one of our little add-on pieces. Reaching one hand and the other, adding some nice side stretches. Keep the tailbone tucked a little bit under, right? You don't want to get real sway back here. That's going to cause a little ache, so be mindful of that. And then reach both hands up to the sky. Exhale, soften the knees and float down, forward fold. We're going to bring the palms to the shins, engage the core muscles, and then the muscles of the front body completely as we lift up into our half fold. Exhale, soften and fold all the way down. Stepping it back to, excuse me, plank, top of your push-up. You can keep the knees down on the earth if you like. I encourage you to lift your feet if you do, but we're pushing the earth away. We're gripping with the fingerprints, and we're here for 30 seconds. Holding, engaging the core, engage your glutes, engage quads and hamstrings, pectoralis major. You've got 15 seconds. And if you're shaking, that's okay. Ooh, we have 5 seconds. Knees up or down, yogi's choice. And everybody lower all the way down to your belly. I'm squeezing elbows in. 3 baby cobras here. Push them, like imagine there's a little ball, a marble in front of your nose. Push it forward and then lift so that you're thinking and focusing on lengthening the spine before you float up. Keep them nice and small. Keep the elbows in towards the body. Inhale, one more baby cobra. And exhale, hold. Now for this next one, we're going to hold for 30 seconds. So you have the option of keeping your fingers on the earth here. We're going to lift upper and lower body. If you want to go for full locust and lift hands and feet, we've got 30 seconds. And if you're not starting to feel heat build in your body, but try to find the ease here. Shoulders are relaxed, jaw is relaxed. Got 5 seconds. And relax all the way down. Rock the hips a little side to side. Make your way to downward facing dog. And you can come through tabletop or plank or however you want to get there. Up on the toes, soften the knees. Walk it to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. We're going to inhale up, halfway lift. And I'm going to give you the option here of extending one arm forward. And I have to move back so I don't run into things here. Reaching one arm forward, okay? And you can take the opposite arm, sit back a little bit more if you like. We're aiming for that long, long spine. But it's not really a chair pose. So only sit back as much as is needed. And release that hand down and switch sides. Inhale the arm forward. If this causes too much ache in the back today, just stick with your forward fold or with your half lift fold. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Soften the knees, roll or fly up to the sky. And bring your hands together into the heart center. Nice deep breath up right here. Exhale, hands into the heart. Coming back to the top of my mat, softening my knees here. I'm starting to bounce. I'm going to shift my hips. I'm going to shake out my hands and my arms. I'm going to loosen up my neck and my shoulders. Again, this builds heat in the body and it helps energy move. So if you're ever feeling a little stuck, shake it out, shake it off. I know it looks a little silly. It's okay. Silly. Pause. Palms face forward. Pull the belly in towards spine. See if you can feel that energy moving. I can feel it in the palms of my hands. Inhale, deep breath up. Exhale, hands into the heart. Lifting the left heel. We're going to slide this foot all the way back. Open up into our warrior two. And if you want to get a little warmer in your warrior two, a couple things we can do. You can go a little deeper, right? Just remember that deep is again on this elevator shaft. It's an up down. It's in the legs happening here. It's not in the torso. So head is over heart, heart is over hips. Second thing we can do is bring the hands overhead. Anytime you're lifting the hands up, the heart works a little bit harder to pump the blood to the extremities that are lifted, right? Because we're pumping our blood uphill here. And that's going to also increase the temperature of the body. I'm holding. And we're breathing, pulling in the belly, checking in on the hips. Bring the arms back out if they were lifted. And float them all the way down into the hips. We're going to turn the right toes to the left side of the mat and heel toe our feet together until we're standing in the middle of the mat. And we're going to take our balance into the right foot today. First option is to lift the left heel, pivot it open, opening this left knee away, pulling the belly in, tucking the tailbone under, and then again, reaching up for the sky. First option on tree pose. Second option, of course, we come to the calf. Third option, you can hold that foot, press the foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot, reach the hands up, tree pose. Now I'm going to check on you. They're all good options on tree. Nice, everybody. Keeping that standing leg really grounded, really strong. And release the foot down. Heel toe the feet open, because it's a little bit fun. Pivot the right toes forward, come back into your warrior two. Pivot the back heel around, face towards the front, high lunge. Now my foot, my back foot is too close to the midline. I'm taking a little step over, and I know that because I felt super wobbly coming around. Grounding through the front heel, back heel is lifted. Stay here, or take a diagonal lunge, or fly into your warrior three. Keeping the heart higher than the hips today. And if you're home, right, we're home, and you've got something in front of you that you can use for your balance, awesome. Or if you have a block handy, you can always put a block in front of you to fly into that warrior three, both hip bones pointing down. Set the back foot down, open it up, warrior two. We're coming in and out of warrior two a lot today. But find the ease. Can you ease the shoulders down? Can you soften the jaw? Soften your gaze. Release the hands. Straighten through the front leg. Shift those hip bones. Bringing everything around towards the left side of the mat. Both hands come up and overhead. And we're thinking triangle pose. The hips are pushing back and the arms are reaching over. Now this does put much more strain in the low back. So you need to keep tailbone tucked and core strong. And maybe you stop tilting here, right? You don't need to come here. You can also bring the hand down for support. And take a triangle pose. Both hands lifted. A lot of work for triangle. And release, come back up. Bring all 10 toes back to the left. Heel toe in slightly. We're going to take a slightly wide stance. Take a deep breath up. And we're going to soften the knees, wrap the right hand behind the left hand across and take a twist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. Now maybe your feet feel too wide here. You want to come in a little more, keeping knees soft. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. One more each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And notice I'm bending my knees a little. With each twist that I take, I'm staying soft in the knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands into the heart. Right toes turn to the front of the mat. Left toes turn towards the front corner. Legs are straight. Take a little baby fold here, lifting through the spine. Little half pyramid pose. I'm not folding all the way down here. And then soften the front knee. Step the back foot up to meet the front foot. Take a deep breath up. And forward fold, let it go. Keep that low belly strong and engaged. Crown of the head is heavy. And then we're going to step it back to tabletop, all fours. And then shift down to our forearms. So our table bow position here. Shoulders over elbows. You can stay right here and work on tabletop cow-cat, if that sounds good for your body. Or you can lift the hips and find dolphin dog, keeping the crown of the head off. Maybe you shift your weight onto the toes and back. Maybe you start to walk the feet in and walk them back. And wherever you're at, bring the knees back down, take them out nice and wide, slide the hip creases back. Take a few breaths here in child's pose, regrounding, reconnecting to earth. Because we're going to do all that on the other side. One more breath. Exhale completely. Coming through tabletop to downward facing dog. Feet about hip width apart. Notice if this feels a little different than the first one we took today. And up on the toes, soften the knees. We're going to walk it towards the top of the mat. Forward folds. Inhale, lift up halfway. Pause, and maybe you reach one arm forward. My tree here is holding my hand. And release and switch. Opposite hand forward. Option to keep both hands on the shins. You're good. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, the hands draw into the heart. Soften the knees. Shake out the shoulders. Wiggle the hands. Circle the neck. Bounce it out. Shake your troubles away. Pause. Inhale, deep breath up. Exhale, slide that right foot back. Open it up, warrior two. And again, you want to get deeper, then go a little wider, bring the hips down, lunge a little more into that front leg, checking front knee over, front ankle, arms front to back. And then you want to build a little more heat. Bring those hands up overhead. And you can still keep the head looking forward. This can also be a lot in the shoulders. So if you want to keep the arms extended or in prayer posture, this is what works in your body today. Inhale the hands back open. Exhale the hands down to the hips. We're going to heel toe the feet in. All 10 toes are going to turn to the right side of the mat. I'm going to swing around and facing you. Walk those feet all the way in. Soften the knees. Left foot is grounded. First option, right heel lifts, pivots out. Arms reach up. Or come to the calf or up to the thigh. And if you're like me, you've probably got one side where I can take this high lifted tree on the other side with ease. On this side, that foot slips right out. Don't take it that way. Engaging glute med. Feeling nice and strong. And release both feet down. Take a deep breath up. Exhale, hands into the heart. Heel toe, feet back out. Because we never go this way. Left toes turn forward. Open it up, warrior two. Pivot that back foot around. Find your high lunge. Stay in high lunge or sweep the hands back and take a diagonal lunge. So crown of the head to back heel is where the line here is happening. Or if you like, fly it up into your warrior three. Use your furniture, use your block if you want to fly and you want a little assistance. Nothing wrong with getting help. Releasing that back foot down, pivoting it open back to our warrior two. Don't know what puppy's hearing. Exhale, hands down to the hips, straighten through both legs. You might need to adjust your spacing here. Hips are towards the side of the mat. I'm backwards here. Both arms reach up as an option and extend over into triangle, or take a regular triangle pose if that makes your little heart happy. Just go easy if you keep both arms extended. Notice that my tilt here is much, much smaller. I can go way far over when I don't have both arms lifted. So if you're modifying that lift in order to extend, it's okay, take it. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, sigh of relief. Release the hands. Pivot the toes to the side of the mat. Heel toe in a little bit closer together. Just a little wider than hip width. Soften the knees. And we're actually going to take swinging twists this time. Opening up the back. Decompressing the hips. Maybe go a little faster if you want to get a little heat. If you're like, I'm warm, then keep your pace right where it's comfortable. And slow it down, bringing it back to center. Observe, close your eyes for a second. Check in with your intention. Find that sense of ease in the body. Pivoting towards the front of the mat, bringing the feet together, take a deep breath up, and exhale, forward fold. Here's our last time with these one arm half lifts, if you're taking those. We're gonna lift up halfway, and maybe you extend one arm forward. My tree is running my way here. I'm trying not to sit my hips back behind my heels. You wanna keep the hips over the heels. And release, switch to the opposite arm. Feel that long extension in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Softening the knees. Planting the hands, stepping it to tabletop, all fours first. Take your time, bringing the knees down. And then elbows come under shoulders. And again, option to stay here. And cow-cat in forearm. Or go ahead and lift the hips. And find dolphin dog. Maybe pedal it out, maybe rock front to back. Really bringing the weight forward, keeping the head lifted. This is fabulous practice if Pincha Mayurasana, forearm stand, is something you'd like to work on. Got 10 seconds wherever you're at. And then we'll slowly bring the knees back down to the earth. Option to keep the knees together and slide the hands behind you for child's pose. And if extended child's pose, knees wide, arms out, works, take that. Hands plant down on the earth. Chin tucks into chest. Roll it up. Rub the hands together. Make a little heat. And then bring the hands to the low back. Breathe. And we're going to shift around into all fours, or into laying down all fours. Goodness gracious. Taking our time, relaxing the whole body down. We're going to work on one little shape here today, but as always, you've got options. So your first choice here is to come to bridge base and then lift the feet up towards the sky. We're doing this without the block for right now because the second option, it doesn't really work. And then find some ease here. Maybe the palms of the hands are on the quads so that the legs can really just sort of drop back to where they'd like to be. If you want to work a little bit, we can try shoulder stands today. If you've got some aching in your back, might not be your best choice. Really tune in and listen to your body. See what feels good today. That's what we're going for. If you want to work on shoulder stand, you draw the knees into the chest and lift the hips. The hands come into the low back where they just were. The elbows walk in a little bit. Your goal here is to press the hips forward so that they are stacked up over your shoulders. And it's going to feel like you're going to tip over. The core is engaged. And then you keep the feet pushing a little bit away so you get that nice straight line. It's going to make my voice sound a little weird because there is a little compression happening here. And then if plow pose is in your practice and you want to bring those feet back over the head, absolutely go for it. If this is a shape you want to work on, I wholeheartedly recommend doing this with a couch behind you or a bed if it's low enough to the ground so that you're bringing your feet down to a surface that's lifted, right? Not all the way to the earth. I'm going to come and check on you. You've got 45 seconds. Feet lifted to the sky or shoulder stand or plow. Tuning into the body. Wonderful. And now we are going to release and grab a hold of our block so we can come into supported bridge pose. Feet down, hips down, knees up. Press through the feet, slide the block in under your sacral bone. We're going to start pausing here in bridge base. So the hips are on the block. If you have a block, if you don't, you want to take bridge roll up and down. If you want to keep the feet lifted towards the sky, all works. I love teaching a mid-level class, a mixed level class, because some of you guys already know where you want to go in this shape today, and that's perfect. I'm going to start with the hips resting and see where I can bring ease into the body. My abductors are still engaged, so I'm trying to loosen and release. Hamstrings are going to soften, quads are going to soften, feet are going to soften. And I'm going to pause here for about 20 seconds. If you were rolling up to bridge and rolling down, you might add in a windshield wiper, knees going side to side in between bridge rolls. Now I'm going to take you out of that if that's where you are in a moment. You might want to stretch through the front of the hips. So pull one knee in, really squeeze, like you're trying to pull your nose all the way up to touch your face. You're engaging the iliac psoas, the psoas, and then stretch that leg long, put the heel down on the ground, toes up towards the sky. If you want to do this drill without a prop, then draw the knee in, but when you extend, keep the foot slightly lifted. And your thinking here is that you're making this leg as long as you can make it, drawing the femur down in the hip socket. And then perhaps you tilt the pinky toe down towards the earth. That will deepen the stretch. And then toes to the ceiling, slight bend in the knee, draw that foot back in and go to the opposite side. Activate the muscle first. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then lengthen the leg away. As far as you can get it to go. And if the hips are lifted, the foot is grounded. If the hips are grounded, the foot is lifted. Pivot that pinky toe out towards the earth. Lift the toes, slight bend in the knee, foot comes back in. If you have a block and it's at a medium height, I'm shifting mine down to a slightly lower, to the lowest setting. And now I bring both feet up to the sky for a supported shoulder stand. And I'm walking my shoulders up away from my hips. We're trying to create real length in the spine here while giving the back a lot of support. You can do this also with a pillow. Maybe separate the feet and circle the ankles. Point and flex. And you can definitely take this shape without a prop, just feet to the sky. And then let the feet come together. Hands on quads. Allow those feet to tilt a little towards your face. And I'm going to draw my knees into my chest. With the block, I need to move it towards my tailbone, so away from my head, in order to find just the right spot of support here where the hips are being lifted by the block for me, and my knees can rest into my chest with pretty much no effort on my part. I like my hands released out to the side. If you want to put a little extra weight and hug those shins in, why, go for it. Let's see if you can't release tension in the hip joints, through the front of the hip especially. Let the block do the work. One more breath here for me. And release the right foot down to the earth and the left foot down. Peel the hips up, slide your prop out. Pause and observe. Did you create some space in the low back? How do you feel here? And then walk the feet out wider than the hips, and we'll windshield wiper really slowly here, just decompressing the hip joint and the low spine a little with some soft movement. And then come back up to center. We're going to flip over like a pancake and come to lay down on our stomachs. And find our way to Sphinx pose. So shoulders are over elbows, hands are reaching straight forward. Heart is pulling forward. We'll wiggle the hips a little bit to loosen up the low back. Actively push the hip bones down into the earth and pull the core in strong. You're going to notice if you relax your belly here and let the hips just sort of float, you'll feel a little more tension in the low back. So push the pelvis down, engage the core, and you'll feel a little more lift, a little more support for the back. And then maybe you want to loosen the neck up, do some circles, look back towards the right foot, look back towards the left foot. And then pause in the center, get really strong here. And then we're going to fold the forehead down. So bring the hands in, elbows come out. We're going to take the right foot, the right knee, and slide it up towards the right elbow. Maybe you open the right foot out and away. Trying to see if I'm still on camera here. Half frog pose. Pushing here to keep that right hip bone down towards the earth. You're going to roll a little to the left side. That's okay. You can also put one ear down if you want to look away from that right knee. Put the right ear on the earth.
And then we'll switch ears when we switch legs. Got a minute here on the side. So and where are you using muscle and effort where you could use more ease? Got 3 more deep breaths. Exhale all the way. And slide that right foot back down. Bringing it back in line. Rock the hips a little side to side. Maybe lift the feet and rock them side to side. A little massage on the front side of the hips. And we'll go to the other side. Right leg is long. Left knee is going to draw up and in. Maybe you open that left foot out away. This is called frog pose. If you've ever seen a frog on its belly with its little kinked out little legs, that is the shape we're going for here. You might flex that left foot and see how that feels, or maybe bring a little more ease. You might put the left ear down on the mat if that's okay, or whichever ear is the opposite of the one you did last time. And then notice if the left hip bone has more lift or if it has a little more drop towards the earth. I'll tell you for nothing that this side has a lot more lift in my body. I've got about 40 seconds here. Are the quads relaxing? Is the back of the neck soft? One more deep breath in. Long breath out. Release the left leg back down. Rock the hips side to side. Maybe bring the feet up and circle them around here. Shake them out side to side. If you haven't done this before, this particular kicking the feet side to side, it's kind of fun. And it feels kind of good. It's nice to get a little massage through the front of the hips and the quads. And then we'll bring those feet back down. Release the hands, bring them in line with the rib cage. We're going to press up to our tabletop shape. Hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, front body lifting towards back body. I just took a peek. My hands were too wide. They want to be about shoulder width apart. We're going to open up the right arm towards the sky and slide it through and behind the left, bringing the right ear and the right shoulder to the earth. Little thread the needle, opening up the upper part of the back now. One more breath in and out. Press through the left palm, rise back up, reset into our tabletop. Notice the active muscles. And then we'll lift the left hand up to the sky, twist open, and slide through. Left ear, left shoulder coming down. One more breath in. Long breath out. Pressing back up into tabletop. Taking a cow pose, drop the belly, pull the heart forward, soften the back of the neck. Pause here in your cow pose. Make it a little more active. Grip with the fingers, tops of the feet push down, shoulders drawing away from the ears. length in the back of the neck. And then exhale, roll through chin to chest. Pausing in your cat pose. And then rolling through cow to cat. Moving with the breath. One more time. Walk the knees all the way in together. Tuck the toes under. And we're going to shift the hips back towards the heels. Hands staying on the earth here. The further forward your hands are, the further forward your weight is, the less stretch you'll feel in the soles of your feet. If you want to get a little deeper, walk the hands in. And maybe you come all the way up and take a moment in toe stand. Smile. And shift back around onto your back. Yay, we made it. Legs all the way out, arms up overhead, stretch the whole body long. Maybe you walk one arm and then the other, just like the armpit walk we did at the beginning. Little side stretch. If you need a little banana pose today, then I'm going to invite you to walk both feet to the left corner of the mat. And then walk your hands and shoulders and your head towards the left corner of the mat. Maybe both hands stay lifted overhead. It's the right arm that we really want to get long. We're stretching all the way through the right side of the body. Relax the lower back. And release the hands back towards the middle. Release the feet back towards the middle. We'll go the other way. Feet to the right corner. Hands and shoulders to the right corner. Ooh, stretch through that left arm. Feel that nice stretch through the left side body. And release the hands back. And the feet back. Arms come down. Nice rest for the shoulders. Feet come flat. Left ankle over right knee. We'll take a little pigeon on back. You can stay here grounded, or you can fly and bring that right knee in towards the heart. If you want a partial version of this without quite as much effort, you put this block under the lifted foot. So the knees are still coming in, but not as deeply as if you were reaching for that hamstring. Just a fun little extra. One more breath. Release and switch sides. Left foot down, right ankle crosses. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the foot on the block. Maybe we draw both knees in. Do try to keep the shoulder blades grounded down, the back of the head heavy on the earth. One more breath. Exhale, release. And you've got about a minute, my friends. We did not take bound angle today. If you'd like to do soles of the feet together, knees open, you can take that. You can go to happy baby if you like that. If you need deeper twists, now is a great time to put some twists in, right? And if you need an extra minute of Shavasana, well, now is your time to set up for that. I'm coming back to you. Take what you need, leave the rest. Yeah? About 10 more seconds. If you're on one side,
you'll take a little extra time and do the second side. So if you took a twist, take it in the other direction, took it in the other direction. Yeah, that's fabulous English, Sarah. And when you finished your second side, start to bring yourself down to where you need to be for Shavasana. Whatever your final resting pose is going to look like today. If you've got a chair or furniture handy, bring those feet up on top of it, knees bent. Definitely grab a blanket. Today is yoga for cold weather, my friends. Should feel good to wrap up at the end. Hold a little of that heat in your body. And yeah, I am teaching at you here from Southern California, but it's getting down to the 30s overnight. I know, lots of parts of the world that doesn't qualify as cold, but it does in California. Find the ease that your mind and body need here, this opportunity to incorporate what's happening, what just happened, to sit with it, sit with what is, explore, be a little curious. Even if your practice wasn't what you imagined it might be today, be willing to bet there's still something beautiful there. And if all else fails, come back to your intention or your mantra, breathe it in, infuse it into your body with breath, and then exhale a little bit out to the world. Somebody else might need it too. I will sit here and hold space for you to be you. Welcome to Shavasana. Beginning the process of deepening breath. Taking deeper inhales and deeper exhales. Taking in a little more air. Jamie, I love the feet on the block. Love, yeah, big thumbs up for that. Start to use that deepened breath to bring movement to your body, even if it's just wiggling your toes. Doesn't have to be big movement. Maybe you rub thumb and fingerprints together. Create a little heat, a little friction. Feel the texture of your own fingers. Wiggle those toes, make some magic. Wiggle the fingers, sparkle. I call this sparkling, not wiggling. Wiggling is what little kids do. We're grown-ups. We sparkle. We make magic. We share it. Maybe you turn to one side, draw knees into the chest first. Maybe you like to rock and roll. But you're going to start to think about, create a plan for, become intentional with how you're going to come back to seated. I love your blanket, Rebecca. It looks so cozy. Yes, babies, easy movement. Make your way back up. Take your time. Take a deep breath. Notice how your body feels. Close your eyes for a second. Ride the breath like it's a little roadmap. Did you create space? Did you bring some ease to your body? Or some life to your body today in practice? I hope so. I did. Hope that came through. Palms of the hands, the heart center. Bowing the head here for a moment. A symbol of the sealing in of today's practice with mindfulness and gratitude, and the intention of taking our intentions with us off the mat. Yoga is not just a practice for when you are in class. It's something you can take with you throughout your day. And I hope that it is a beautiful day. Namaste.